It's no secret, New Yorkers love their coffee, but the price of their morning joe could be on the way up. Severe frosts have damaged about 10% of Brazil's coffee-producing area. That prompted futures for Arabica beans to rise by nearly 30% last month, hitting a 6-year high. Coffee shops are now bracing for their costs to go up.
So a lot of producers like Starbucks, for example, will typically purchase their coffee supply a little bit in advance. So Starbucks in their most recent earning call basically said that they had locked in the price that they were paying for their coffee for the next 14 months. So ultimately, it's not necessarily an issue of how high prices get as how long they stay elevated in terms of what we're going to see.
But cafes are already seeing their bottom lines impacted by other rising costs. Black Fox Coffee near Wall Street recently had to raise its prices by about 5% to cover higher labour expenses and supply chain shortages, as well as inflation triggered by the pandemic.
We see quite a heavy fluctuation in our cost side from transport costs and importing taxes. We get stuck with a lot of customs fees when there are bottlenecks at import. We also have started paying our staff a lot more now than we ever have before, and that's again from COVID, having to give people incentive to then come off welfare to come back to the workforce.
But many in the industry say people have become too used to cheap coffee prices, and that underpricing has been adding to inequality in the industry.
I could take 2 oranges from Florida, charge them $7 for the juice, they won't think twice. But their cup of coffee, which requires hundreds of cherries to be picked from a mountaintop, they got to ship it across the world. And it's like, what do you mean $2 for a cup of coffee? It's not okay to buy a $1 cup of coffee, because by doing that, we're stepping on people in third world countries.
Coffee shop owners say increased costs linked to bad weather and the pandemic may be temporary, but higher prices for customers are likely to remain in order to help make the industry fairer for producers. Sarah Walton, CGTN, New York.